Well, hello, 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 and Happy New Year! Come on in, and let me know where you're dialing in from, where you're viewing me at. Is it on Level Let's Go? Is it on the website? Is it on Facebook? Is it on LinkedIn? Is it on YouTube? Let me know. Is it on Roku? I would love to hear how you're viewing the show. But I am your show host, Maxine Pearl Phillips. And here we are in 2025. I trust you've had a great holiday time visiting with your family and your friends. I trust that you've made new memories. I trust that you took great pictures and you're documenting this legacy along the way. I trust all of this has been phenomenal for you as we enter into 2025. Well, I have deemed 2025 as the year of reset, the year of reset. That's right. And I want to know, what does reset mean to you? I'll talk to you a little bit later about what it means to you. But first, at Leveless, we are a career and professional development company who helps individuals to identify, discover, or confirm their God-given abilities, their natural abilities, their innate abilities. But the important thing is that once you understand those abilities, then you map your career and your profession to those abilities and to your strengths. And therefore, we want you to be happy at what you're doing, fulfilled at what you have accepted that you will be doing with your life, and also living the lifestyle that you not only desire, but deserve, because it's up to you to bring that happiness into your life. One of the things I always say is we want you to be the CEO of your life, because when you're the CEO of your life, see, you start looking at things differently, because you're going to have a vision. You're going to have a mission. You're going to have objectives. You're going to have goals that you set not only for yourself, but you're going to put a strategy in place in order for you to meet those goals. Well, tonight is no different. But remember that we are here to serve our young professionals. That means those are in high school, those who are going into college, still in college, coming out of college and unsure which direction they're to take, and even adult professionals who are unemployed, underemployed. Did you listen? You're dissatisfied with where you are. You're stuck. You're overwhelmed. You're unsure what direction to take. 2025 is not going to be any different than what we faced in 2021, 22, 23, and 24, because there are going to be companies and organizations that are going to be laying off. When they're laying off, you have no idea if you're going to be the one that's going to be in that mix. But what we're going to talk about tonight is talking about reset 2025. And how do you reset your mindset? Because that's what's important as well, is that you have to have the right mindset as we're going into 2025. And here at Leveless, we have the career and professional development that's on our website at levelessco.com. I want you to go out there, take a look at it, look at the courses that we offer, the workshops that we offer. We can come to your organization, and we will also be offering some workshops that's going to be online and you can attend. Tonight, the year of reset. So welcome. I welcome you to the year of reset as we talk about it. And as we move forward, we've had many experiences in our careers and our professional lives. And one of the things that I realized on my journey is that it can be personal or it can be professional. And I'm sure you've realized the same thing as well. But many times we are required to adapt to these unexpected situations that happens to us. But once we know that we have the ability to control some of the situations, not all of the situations, but we have the ability to control the outcomes of how we are going to react to the various situations that come into our existence. And so I want to ask you to join me tonight and think about reset. I want you to write down, what does reset mean to you in your career, your professional, or even your personal life? What does it mean to you? Because I think that's critical. And it's critical because we're going to be talking about how do we reset And reset could be what? Reevaluating, assessing, looking back. Um, I call it taking a big picture, a snapshot of where you were, where you are, and where you want to go. So we have an opportunity to reset ourselves here in 2025. Now, I know we've had a lot of things that happened to us in the previous years, but that's in the past. I want you to pause for a moment. I want you to take a deep breath, and I want you to center yourself. Because as you center yourself, that's where the white space have an opportunity to come into your brain, and also you're able to listen to the universe and what it wants to say to you. During the holiday times, I talked about hearing, listening, and obeying. And that has not changed. I delivered that message back in 2016, and I still have people coming to me and talking about, Maxine, I remember when you talked about hearing what your inner spirits are telling you to do, hearing what God wants you to do, hearing the things that other people have brought to the forefront or have given a prophetic word, and then listening for those instructions on what it is that you are to do in order to put the strategy in place, the action plan in place, and then execute it. Bring it forth. Make it happen. Bring it into a reality. Because the objective that we do here at Levelist is for you to live that fulfilled life and to have that lifestyle that you desire and deserve. So as we continue to talk about reset, I want you to join me in this reset community. I will be posting information out moving forward, and so that you can join the community and have that renewal, revitalized mindset in what it is that you see yourself doing in 2025 and accomplishing it, not just seeing it, visualizing it, but also reaching and achieving those goals that you established for yourself. So I want you to share with me, what does reset mean to you? And how do you plan on resetting during 2025? I don't want you to wait until June to reset. I want you to start thinking about it now. We will be offering some workshops that's going to be talking about contextual goals versus your traditional resolutions, and how do you go about setting those contextual goals. So be looking for that upcoming webinar, as well as when it's going to be advertised, so that you can become a part of it and register for it. We are here to support you. We're here to inspire you. We're here to empower you. And we're here to embrace what it is that you see yourself doing as you move forward. Everything about Levelist is forward movement, because we believe that the sky is not the limit, and Levelist is success without levels. And therefore, you, as long as you continue to move forward, you are successful. And I want to make sure that you have that mindset to see yourself as being successful. So as we move forward and start talking about the Levelist, continue to talk about Levelist, let's talk about some of the things that you can do. Oh, I'm sorry, not say Levelist, I mean resetting the mind. So as we start talking about that, I want to hold on just a second. Let me get where I am. As you know, I like to have notes in order to make sure I stay on track. But I want you to talk about or write down, what does Levelist, no, I'm sorry, I don't know why I keep saying Levelist. I love my name for the company. But what does reset mean to you in your life, in your career, and in the professional area that you've chosen? What does this mean to you? I think it's important that we write this down, so that I'm all about journaling. And so if you have a journal, write this in your journal. If not, then we offer a journal right there on the Levelist Co. website. But having the meaning of what reset means to you will also help you to create your vision, your mission, your objectives, whether they're contextual objectives or whether they are the traditional resolutions, but it still will help you to create them. And then I want you to ask yourself, what is your biggest challenge? that you anticipate facing in 2025? What is that challenge? Because that challenge will help you to grasp what objectives or what goals you need to set for 2025, and who do you need to contact that's going to help you even move forward in achieving the objective, or what training, what mentoring. It all depends on what you're going to need in order for you to overcome this biggest challenge in 2025. And that's a part of reset, because you have to reset the way you're thinking about overcoming these challenges and who can help you overcome the challenges. I want to make sure that we're actually out there on Facebook, and I see that we are. And as I continue to move forward, what kind of support do you need in achieving the goals and objectives that you're going to set for yourself as you're resetting them? Now, I know there's probably some goals and objectives that you did not accomplish in 2024, but it's up to you if you want to revisit them and see, do we move those into 2025? Or what caused us not to accomplish those objectives in 2024? And what can we do differently in 2025 in order for us to achieve them? That's resetting your mind, resetting how you think about your career, your life, the profession that you're in, even resetting how you're volunteering in the community and helping others. So that reset is so critical. Once I pushed out about the year of the reset, and this is what I'm using as my mantra, and I would tell you that reset, not something that Maxine came up with at all. It was during a time when I was hospitalized right after my birthday, and I was in the hospital for 2 or 3 days. And that's when I had my spirit to talk to me and say, I'm going to be guiding you through a reset. And once I heard that word reset, I'm like, I don't need to keep this to myself. I need to share it, because so many people can use this word reset and help them to overcome challenges and to move forward in their life and their career, so they can live the lifestyle that they deserve and the one that they have desired. So as we continue to talk about reset, I want to ask you, what insights, what have you gathered? What have you looked at? Have you evaluated what you've done for 2024 and look at what you need to do differently in 2025? Because that's a part of reset. That's thinking differently, renewing something of what you've already done, but just looking at it in a new way and a new perspective through a different lens. You know, I wear glasses and we have different color lenses in the glasses. And that's a different way of looking at what it is that what you are to accomplish. But you accomplish these goals and objectives through your strengths and through your abilities, the things that you were born with that no one had to teach them to you. Yes, we do go to school. Yes, we do have degrees. We have certifications. We have trades that we do. So there is a form of education that helps us to accomplish our goals and objectives. Excuse me. I don't want to go into a coughing attack. But as we accomplish those goals and objectives, we need to be looking at, what are they? How do we reevaluate them? How do we repurpose what we've already learned, and how do we carry it forward as we're helping others and as we're helping ourselves? So I encourage you to commit and use the word reset, but look at it, how it's going to apply to you in your life. Now, I will be having a reset workshop, a gathering that's going to be coming up here in January, and we will be advertising it. And I think we have the, on the banner is going through. That's the reset. That's the professional development that's on the website. But I also encourage you to register for it's on Calendly that you can register for our Levelist Reset 2025. And therefore, we get a chance to talk about How are you resetting for 2025? And what's going to work best for you? Everyone is different. And so we want to make sure that this is going to be a small class so that you can get that individualized attention. It's going to be online, it's going to be virtual, and it's only going to be 1 hour in length. And we have various times in the morning and in the evening that can accommodate, we trust it can accommodate your schedule. All right, so as we continue to talk about reset, I want you to also think about resetting your mental clarity, because sometimes we get all bogged down and we don't have that white space that I just talked about in order for you to hear and listen and obey what you've been instructed to do. And then how can you make sure that you let go of things that you no longer need and you bring in the new things that you do need, or new people, or new workshops, or new mentoring, or new certifications. So there's so many different things that you can bring in that can help you with that mental clarity. And the other thing is, when you're talking about reset, we could reset even from a physical wellness. I mean, I've always, since 2014, I've always looked at what can I do to help my body and to keep it healthy. Now, I know here in March of 2024, I had a major setback, but that was because of chemicals. And I'm allergic to preservatives and additives that are in foods. And there's more and more commercials that's coming that's on now, and more write-ups that's talking about additives and chemicals in foods. So I'm not the only one who has this problem. There are other people that's having the same problem, and it's definitely affecting their health. So physical wellness is another thing that we can look at as far as reset. What do we put in place that's going to help us continue to maintain health so that we can continue to be prosperous and do the things that we need to do while we're here? While we are here, there's activities that can rejuvenate our bodies. What are they? How long do we do them? Where do we do them? And there are a lot of online activities that we can do as well that can be from the physical wellness. It's more than just eating, but it's also the physical part and your intake and your movement. Then we have the emotional reset. You know, here's where you can write down things. I talk about journaling all the time. And on my website, we have a journal that's called Transformation, Write Plus Share Plus Live. And in that book, it's a guidebook, and there are prompters that can help you to move forward as you write. You know, if you live it, love it, do it, guide it, there's a lot of the it, and it depends on where you are in your life and what it is that you want to do. And so, but write it down. When you write things down, it helps. I call it a data dump. It helps you to dump it out of your brain, and it's down on paper, and you can put it into a strategy. You can put it into a plan. So there's so many different things that you can do once you are journaling. I never will forget about the journal that I did back in 2014, and it was a food journal. And that food journal actually saved my life. And that's when I first discovered that I was allergic to preservatives and additives in foods. The doctors could not figure out why I was getting sick, stayed sick from 1 day to 2 months, to 2 weeks, to 2 months, to 6 months. But it was all because of the additives in certain foods. And, you know, even though I now use a lot of organic foods, but remember, organic is not 100% organic. So I still have to be careful about the intake of the food products or that I'm ingesting. So when we talk about that physical part, that's something that you can think about is, you know, what is it that's best for you and your body? Pay attention to your body and write them down when it comes to the emotional reset and journaling. And emotional could be that quiet time. That quiet time is so important. I know for my birthday, I had a young lady to come on, and she did a breathing exercise. And probably about 2 years ago, every time I would start my podcast or my TV show, I would do it with a breathing exercise, no more than a minute. But it was just so that you could center yourself. And breathing actually help you to allow the blood to flow, the oxygen to flow through your blood. And there's a way to breathe. And I'd have her to come back on and do another breathing little mini exercise for us. But one of the things that I learned about breathing was that you need to breathe from your diaphragm and not from your chest. Now, babies breathe from their diaphragm, but we as adults, we have a tendency to breathe from our chest because we do shallow breathing. It's right here. It's not opening up the lung capacity and allowing that oxygen to flow. So that's something to think about. And that's just a way of resetting how we even think as far as breathing is concerned. So I know I'm throwing a lot here out at you, and I trust that you're writing them down. These are some platinum nuggets that we can use all year long, because although I'm saying that it's reset 2025, reset can happen at any point in your life. So 2025, don't let it stop. Let it continue to flow. Then with the reset, I want you to think about, after the mental, we got the mental clarity, the physical wellness, the emotional reset, and then we have some creativity expressions when we're talking about reset. How creative are you? Do you like to draw? Do you like to do puzzles? Those are the kind of things that can bring some clarity to your mind as well. I love to sew. I'm a certified master tailor, and I don't even get a chance to sew like I used to. I used to sew 24 hours almost. I used to sit down and start in the morning and have an outfit that afternoon. But I don't get a chance to do that as quite often, because I also love doing and helping others and empowering others to become who they were created to be, so that they can have that happy, healthy life while they're here on this earth. So having that creative expression is another way of resetting. Now, with the reset workshop, we're going to go over many of these things, and you're going to have an opportunity to actually create what reset means to you and how you're going to be using it in 2025, so that you can have a plan. You can have some objectives. You can have some strategies as you move forward. And then we'll talk about what happens after that reset meeting. What are some of the things that you might do? Wait a minute, I have somebody asking me a question, and they said, okay, they're going to be resetting their relationships with people. Okay, well, that's awesome. That's another way of resetting. You have to look at, who are you going to spend your time with? How long you're going to spend your time with them? How often you're going to spend your time with them? And there could be some individuals that you might no longer be spending time with. Doesn't mean that there's a fallout or anything like that. It's just that you're going to be intentional about how you network and where you're going to be using your time. So that's another thing to reset. So thank you, Tawana, for asking that question. Right? And then we talk about, there's such a thing as detox. There's so many different ways to detox ourselves. You know, we can detox our liver, in our kidneys. We can detox. I know Kimberly Winborn has the detox book that she has done, and that's to get your finances in order. So there's so many different ways that you can detox. But that's one of the things to think of, because this detox is about unplugging yourself for a day, giving yourself that quiet time, that time to get away, that time to sit and listen to what the Spirit is guiding you to do. So you can do a detox with a relationship with technology, social media. It doesn't have to be forever, but it could be for a day. It could be for a week. It depends on what you need to do, and only you need to know what's needed. So be intentional for the remainder of the year as to what you need to reset and do differently. And write it down. What worked for you, what did not work for you, and what can you do differently in order for it to work, if that is something that you're moving forward here in 2025. You know, we have not only social media, but you also have TV. You know, so there's a lot of different things that you can do in order to detox your day and detox your mind. And I challenge you, let me know what it is that you've chosen to do for the detox of 2025, or to reset here in 2025. I'm more interested in how you're going to reset your mind, or what it is you're going to reset in 2025. So share that with me. Share it with me on my website, or share it with me at Maxine@lovelessco.com, and let's talk about it. I would love to hear. I'm waiting to hear from you. Just know that. And the other thing you can do to reset is to engage in the community. So there's so many different ways you can engage into the community. We have, the homeless, we have nonprofits, we have faith-based organizations, we have the Boys and Girls Clubs. So there's so many different ways. We have the elderly, the seniors that you can engage with. So how are you going to reset your mind or reset what it is that you're doing in order to maybe engage in the community more? So that's something that you can add into your strategies and make that a part of your action plan. Okay, let me see if I have any other questions out here. Oh, somebody said that they're going to be resetting their sharing space. I'm not totally sure what that means, but I'm assuming that if they're sharing space, a space could be an apartment with a person. It could be a co-working space. So it all depends. So what you need to do is do it according to what you need for yourself and how is it going to help you in 2025. So workspace is just one thing. A living space is another. Even maybe carpooling. That's another way of sharing your space. So, but I encourage you to look at what works best for you. All right, let me see what else we got here in reset. So, as I said, this is a year about re-energizing our minds, is about resetting our professional paths, is about paying attention to our bodies. So, whether you're letting go of limited beliefs or in your careers, or you welcoming an opportunity for professional growth, but now is the time to embrace it. Now is the time to reevaluate it, to renew how you're looking at how you're resetting yourself for 2025. So I encourage you, one of the things that you can you can reset is your networking opportunities, because this could be a transformative journey as well. But levelless is success without levels. And so therefore you don't have to limit yourself with what you're going to do. You can just explode. You can expand. You can be creative. The sky is not the limit, so stop limiting yourself. I'm a firm believer that the sky is not the limit. I know we hear it all the time that the sky is the limit, but at Levellers, we believe that the sky is not the limit. So there's always welcome new opportunities for professional growth and embrace the positive things that are happening in your life. And you have to reevaluate and reset what's happening from a negative perspective and turn it around to be positive. So that's something that we can, be cognizant of us. Now I want you to start using the hashtag reset 2025 and add levelers to it. That's good. But hashtag capital, all caps, RESET 2025 is what I want you to use as a hashtag. And that's all about not only support and inspiration, but it's also about you reevaluating where you are, where you've been, and where you want to go. And then put a strategy in place because you have reset how you're looking at things in a new way with a different perspective. And you have definitely a total vision on what it is that you're going for. And we're here to help you get it. Just know that. We got personal and professional coaches, and we have the Career and Professional Development Institute that's going to the grand opening is happening in spring of 2025. We have many workshops out here for you. Take a look and register for some of the workshops, and also register for Reset 2025. Reset 2025. We're going to put that run that across the banner so that you can have the link to it so you can start registering for the Reset 2025. I love talking about reset now that is my word for the year. And this is the year of reset. I had someone to share with me that her church, I think the minister at her church was even used the word reset. And when he delivered his message on Sunday, which I think is phenomenal, because we all can look at how we can reset our mind, our body, what it is, our profession, our career, our life, whatever it is that works for you, it works for you. But it can be individualized, that's for sure. You can personalize it. As a career coach and professional, I call it extraordinaire, I've heard from people who talk about them feeling stuck in their career, unsure how to move forward, unsure where to go, even unsure what profession that they should actually be in. And even in reading the various articles from the Harvard Business Review and CNN and CBS, and listening to all these talk shows and so forth, a lot of them talk about how people are uneasy. They feel stuck. They don't know what direction to take. Well, here at Levelist, we are here to help you to become unstuck. That's what we do. We help you to discover, we help you to identify, we help you to confirm those abilities and strengths that you have, that you can map them into the best career path for you, so that you can feel fulfilled and you can work in an area that has purpose and meaning, and you feel fulfilled while you're doing it. And guess what? You just happen to get paid for it. That's right. You just happen to get paid for it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And so what I want you to do is, don't feel stuck. Don't feel left out. Don't feel like you deserve that promotion and you're not getting it. Don't sit there and feel that way. Reach out to us here at Levelist and allow us to be able to help you move forward in your career. That's what we do. And that's why I do this show, so that I can share this information with the world, so individuals will know that there is someone out here who's waiting and willing to help them move forward in their purpose and what they're passionate about doing. So we have a way of, we don't want you to feel this way by yourself, because you're not the only one. There are many people who feel the same way. At one point in my life, I felt that way. You know what? I never will forget, as a marketing manager, responsible for helping the market department meet their annual goal of $12 million. $12 million. I had 4 clerks reporting to me that were responsible for all of the, we call it representatives, that would go out and sell the business. And we had about 28 of those. So I had 4 clerks, and we had 28 of the reps out selling the business and bringing the business in. But those 4 clerks worked their tails off. And not only that, the marketing department met their $12 million revenue. When time for my review, and I was brought into the office, and I was given the accolades on how well I'd done, the outstanding job, the creativity, the managing of the unit, the cross-training that took place. But I was told that although I was outstanding, that I would not be promoted to the next level. And the reason given was because I did not have a degree. Now I ask you, if I was outstanding in what I did, train the clerks to do what they needed to do, manage the department in order for the whole department to reach the $12 million, what did not have a degree play in me doing and using my already God-given abilities? That scenario is one of the reasons why God has chosen me to help individuals to identify, discover, and confirm their already God given abilities and strengths so they'll understand how to use them. Yes, I went on and got 2 degrees, several certifications. But what I'm using tonight, excuse me, to share with you in what I do, this passion and my purpose and my ministry. Although education, I am definitely pro education and understand the value behind it and that's needed, depending on the profession that you're in. But I also supports individuals who use those abilities and those strengths, those talents that they were already born with in order to move forward in life and become successful and live the lifestyle that they desire and they deserve. So when I tell these stories, and I'm helping individuals to understand that you too can be successful as long as you understand and have that mindset and reset your mind if you don't already have it, that you can have success without levels. I've gone on, like I said, and got the education, got the experience, attended conferences, a TED Talk person. It's important that as we are here in 2025, that you look at prior things in your life, what's going on now, and how do you need to reset your mind in order for you to be successful without levels. Reset your mind.
Hey there, resetting the mind. That's a great thing. I was going to let you take a break so you could get some water or something like that because I was listening in the background. I was going to give you some good news on my own personal front since we're talking about reset. Since I know that you will enjoy this, I've announced it on a couple of shows. But you know Brian Showman, who is a LinkedIn influencer, and he's written a book and everything along those lines. So he asked me last year to write a passage about my involvement with 2 of his shows and everything like that. And that book is now an international bestseller. So I'm now an international best-selling author because Brian has written a book called Voice Your Vibes about Shout Out Saturday and What's Up Wednesday, but it's also about being authentic and real connections and making real connections. And myself, Tim Sohn, Marissa, and I'm trying to think of Marissa's last name, as well as a young lady from Tanzania, and Tim and Nancy Barrows and a number of others were among the 45 people that he selected to write a passage about our experience with that show and also about how we have connected with like-minded people. Because mine was actually about how the soul family and your birth family aren't always the same, because you can definitely have a soul family, just like I consider you part of my soul family. There are people that have a like mind, but we don't necessarily come from the same bloodline and all along those lines. So that's what my passage was all about and all along those lines. So I had a reset moment when on January 1st, I think it was either January 1st or December 31st, he called me up and said, "Mark, you're a Amazon author." I was like, "I am?" And then I looked at the date. It's on Facebook. He said, "Not only you are an Amazon author, you're an international best-selling Amazon author." Because, like I said, me and these other folks are now part of that group and all along those lines. So I can add that to my many accolades and all in that line. But definitely, I just thought I'd share that reset moment with you, and I'll get this calendarly as well so we can put that across and let folks know about what that event is. But yeah, I had a reset moment at the
I
first of
think
the
that
year.
is awesome. I think that is awesome. And that's what Reset is all about, is doing things like that. Because had he not invited you to come and be a part of that book, then
Right.
he would not be able to give you this great news. And so you had to reset your mind and say, hey, wait a minute, I don't have to do a book by myself. I can do a book with other people. And that is what success without levels.
Exactly, and that's what I did. I had to like realize that it didn't have to be. It could be a group project, and I know that there have been other people on this network, including Barbara Smith and others that have written or been part of books. I think you've even been part of books that are made up of multiple people and all along those lines. So it's just good to know that, like you said, you don't have to do it all on your own. You can actually do it in conjunction with others as well. So it was that reset moment. And like I said, I knew that I had submitted to it, be part of the book, but I didn't know that the book had been accepted to be by the publisher and it had actually been published until, like I said, it was within the last week that he called me and he was like, and we'll actually try to have a gathering somewhere on the internet, maybe on LinkedIn or Facebook, and then sometime this week, I think is when it's scheduled. But I'm going like, hey, you invited me, I'll go for it. Like I said, so I wrote my chapter, I went for it, and it actually is in there and all along those lines. So yeah, I had that reset moment.
I think that's good, Mark. So, one of the questions that I asked the audience to give me is what does reset mean to them? So what does reset mean to you? I know you did a reset as far as participating in this book, but what does reset actually mean to you when it comes to career and professional development or even for personal?
Yeah, a lot of times the reset is reassessing. I mean, I know that a lot of times we're at that first of the year, and a lot of times people are into New Year's resolutions. I try to sometimes do those, but then I find that a lot of times we sabotage ourselves because we are so busy worrying about them and all along those lines. Ironically, I was watching another YouTube earlier today, and the young lady was basically saying that that can be a mistake and everything, because if you set a goal and then you fail, then you might have made a mistake and all along those lines. So you can set the goal, but just know that a lot of our goals we won't accomplish, but everything, because it can be the journey to the goal and everything like that. So in that sense, there are things. I've actually got to send out a contract to another friend because he wants me to do some voiceover work for a musical that he's trying to put together, and he sent me a NDA, which I've already signed, a non-disclosure agreement, and then he wants me to look at the schedule so we can practice and everything, because he wants to make sure that since I am not a professional voiceover actor in that sense, that I am polish my skills so that he will be happy with the work and all along those lines. So I got to get that to him hopefully later on today and everything. But yes, a matter of looking at the things that we're doing, even with the network. Because one of the things that I was going to ask you is that I just sent a letter to Nick, is that I think later in next month, we're supposed to go down to he was going to join us, but I think Kim will be joining us instead to a podcasting conference. And part of that will be some major networks that'll be there, like some of the ones that we've talked about, like Roku, and even I think Fox will be there, and a number of others. So they can learn about some of the things that we're doing here at Pod TV, and we can also learn about some of the things that they're doing. And it's been probably several years since I've been to a work conference. So this will be a work conference that I'm going to, and it's been a minute since I've been to one of those. I know years back, having an affiliation with Blues, I went to the Blues International Blues Association that is held in Memphis every year, and this was almost a decade and a half ago that I went there. And ironically, some friends of mine are going to compete on this coming weekend. They're actually going to compete to see if they can win the awards and all along those lines. But it's been a minute since I've been to some of those kind of conferences. So I know that this year I wanted to try to get to more conferences, and I wanted to try to do more travel, particularly in the United States, because we've been kind of locked in, and I wanted to engage with more people, not just on the live stream, but also face to face. And I started doing that with my history talks at Hey Ty, but I want to do even more of that in 2025. So some of it is kind of like you said, reassessing and finding ways that you can readjust, because even if things aren't going your way, some of the reassessment can be readjusting. Because like I said, we haven't had a blues festival for decades, but we may be bringing it back, and there might be other things. And it's been a year since we've done the Road to the Apollo, so I'll be talking to the folks like that and finding ways that we can maybe not do it as big as it was done the first time, but realign it and readapt it so that it can still be part of the lineage and all along those lines. Because sometimes you go out with big guns blazing, having all these ambitions and all these things that you want to do, and sometimes you have to scale back. So I'm looking at ways that I can get things done efficiently and maybe not as grandiose as I was maybe thinking about doing them the first time around.
You talk about scale back, and then earlier I talked about being intentional. And so even in scaling back, that's a form of resetting. Right. Because you have to reevaluate exactly how much you're going to be doing, when you're going to be doing it, why are you even doing it.
Right.
and what is it that you need to be doing.
Right.
And so I love the fact that you talked about scaling back, because sometimes we put so much on ourselves
Mm-hmm.
that is just entirely too much,
Right.
you know. And is it about quality or is it about quantity?
Mm-hmm.
So we have to reevaluate that, or reset our mind to start thinking, what do we want, quality or do we want quantity? And
Yeah.
sometimes we go with quantity, quality suffers.
Yeah, I think we even see that sometimes in relationships. So I know that, and I've talked about this even on my own show, that sometimes we are seeing people that are wanting the material goods, and I'm not saying that material goods aren't important, but they
Mhm.
don't look at the inner part of the person and the true connections that they have and everything like that. And sometimes they might be missing a queen or king in their own realm and everything because they're too busy looking at the surface quality. So even like you said, on the personal side, we can sometimes get caught up in the surface qualities and everything like that. I remember even sharing a story that gives it a kind of a highlights what I'm saying. I remember
Mhm.
years ago, and this lady went on to get married. She might have even been involved at the time that we were together. But I remember one of the beefs that I had against this young lady was that she had a simple mole, and I want to say it was like near the nose of the cheek or something like that. But I used to like that, let that uh, be a worrisome thing to me when it was really nothing that I should have been worried about. She was a wonderful woman of character, but at the time I was probably being a little bit too shallow in my own thinking and all along those lines. So I had to reassess my own thoughts that sometimes we can be missing out on golden opportunities because the person doesn't have the right look, quote unquote, or the right car or the right house or the right a number of other things. So even be both physical things, but also material things as well. And sometimes we got to look into our own soul and our
Yeah.
own kind of inner workings to figure out why we have those kind of attitudes, and if we are, like I said, maybe missing, to borrow your phrase, the pearls in our life, because those pearls might actually be pearls that are right there in our life, or gems that are in our life, and we are missing the opportunity to be in either good relationships or good working environments or even good business ventures because we are too busy worrying about how they might be seen in a negative light.
Exactly. You know, I remember this phrase, I forgot who said it, but it says, get in where you fit in. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, I don't totally agree with that,
Right.
because you don't fit in everywhere. You shouldn't be getting into places where you don't fit in. And that's how you have a reset of mindset as well. I
Mm-hmm.
love the fact that you gave this example of a young lady, you know, of a physical thing that was going on, but you didn't necessarily look at the heart and look at the inner appearance, you know. And of course, I always, you know, think of Samuel, and God looks at the heart. Man
Mm-hmm.
looks at the outer appearance, but God looks at the heart.
Right.
And you know, and I think I told my husband, I said, I fell in love with your heart before I
Right.
fell in love with you.
Right.
You know, because I mean, to me, I thought that was very personable,
Mhm.
is the fact that I didn't just look at the outer appearance, because you can
Right.
easily be attracted to someone's outer appearance. But then once you start looking at the heart does not match up with your values
Mhm.
or what you're passionate about. You know, so I love the fact that you said you had to reevaluate, you
Mhm.
had to reassess, you had to reset your mind and say, hey, wait a minute, in the scheme of things,
This
how
is
big is this?
this is like a little small, little minute thing compared to the bigger picture and all along those lines. And then, like I said, you find out things to this same young lady and everything. And like I said, there were other things that were going on in that particular space. They had a love of pop culture, because I want to say it was the time we were dating was around the same time as the Michael Peterson trial and everything like that. So I remember that they used to come down partially to visit me and see me and to maintain our relationship, but at the same time they were enjoying being able to be involved in the pop culture, but involved on the fringe element. Because I'm thinking that even now that they are, I think, married. Well, I know they got married, and I'm assuming that that marriage lasted. That they're probably still watching those reality shows. So I probably should have learned something about their personality as well, because they were totally engaged. I remember even going once to the old ballpark, and they were like saying, "I know that person. I know that person." Not that they knew him, but they had been watching him on TV, so they were enthralled by the case.
Right, right, right. Well, you know, we all have to learn. We all go through, you know, trials and tribulations. We all
Oh yeah.
go through phases.
Oh yeah.
And it's beautiful that when we can recognize it,
Mm-hmm.
and some individuals, it takes them a long time to recognize it,
Yeah.
you know. So we don't see, as they say, we're going to go through trials and tribulations, but what do we learn as we're going through them? that we can use along the way. So things happen for a reason, and let's understand what is that reason. And I love the fact that you say you reevaluated and now you understand. And ladies and gentlemen, Mark is not the only one. We're all guilty of this.
Oh,
And
yes,
so
yes.
we have to reevaluate and reassess how we are looking at things, looking at people, looking at situations, looking at jobs, looking at the relationships. So there's so many different ways we have to look at things and reset our mindset on
Yep.
how we're actually looking at them.
And speaking of resets, before I disappear and let you close out the show and everything, and I do love it, being able to promote other shows, even on each other's show and everything like that. But one of the shows that's on Tuesday is done by two folks out of Kansas City and everything like that. So Coach G is his name is and everything, and then his business partner Lauren and all along those lines. They have a show that I love. The title of it is called Misfits Managed, which is kind of like what you were just saying, that a lot of times we are don't need to be in the box and we don't need to be trying to fit the norm. Sometimes it's all right to be a misfit and all along those lines. So that's really what their show celebrates. And ironically, one of the shows that they did last year that was very touching, because they've had a lot of different guests on, was, and they may be even having our good friend Kim on in the not too distant future, but they had a young lady that was going through some things in her life, both with weight and with health and her health journeys. And I think even some addiction journeys as well. And all along those lines, she literally, and I don't know if you've got back on some of our past shows, just to show you how it's good to be truly authentic. She literally did the show from her hospital bed. So she was the featured guest and was doing it from the hospital bed. And I just was moved by that show, the fact that she wanted to get the message out so much that she did not care that it was coming from the hospital bed. Because I even remember her telling Coach G and Lauren that I just feel that it's important that I come to y'all as my authentic self. And yes, I'm in the hospital right now, but this is a message that I feel that y'all need to hear and everything like that. So that was a case of being authentic.
Yeah, that is. And that's and that's what we should be. We should be authentic, and we should let other people know that we're not perfect. We're going through situations ourselves. We have to reset the way that we think. I mean, I had to reset the way I thought when I was in the hospital with the kidney stones just a month or so ago. But the whole thing of it is that we have to learn through the situations and how do we overcome it, and who do we need to help us to overcome it. So as I started going back, as Mark was talking, I was also thinking about, that the personal and professional and career opportunities that we have. I know there's companies that are laying off right now, and there's companies that come into our area, whether it's your area, whether it's here in North Carolina where I am, whether you're looking at this right now or later or in the future. But the whole thing of it is that it could be some personal and professional development that you need, or the career development that you need. And career development is about what career is best for you. Is it medical? Is it legal? Is it a trade? What is it that the engineering, what's best for you? And you need to be able to identify it, confirm it, discover it, whatever it is. We have here an assessment here at Leveless that will be able to help you. And you can find that at levelessco.com. And the other thing we have at levelessco.com, it would be our career and professional development programs and institute. That's going to be, the grand opening is in spring of 2025, but we also have our workshops out there right now that you can take a look at and see what's going to work best for you. Now, with these companies coming in and with these companies closing, there are also things I want you to reset your mind, and that's prepare yourself to have your resume updated, so that you can find and be found. It works both ways. You're looking for not just a job, but I want you to look for your assignment. Because when you look for your assignment, you're going to match up with what your natural abilities are, or your God-given abilities and your strengths, so that you're working in a capacity where you are fulfilled and it's bringing you that self-satisfaction, and you're getting the pay that you deserve, and so that you can live the lifestyle that you desire. So that's the other thing. And so we have the banner that's going across, and it would be Calendly.com, and that's where we look at Leveless Co. and then Reset 2025, in order for you to put a game plan in place, a strategy in place, so that you're ready to find and be found. Find that assignment, but also allow other managers, corporations, headhunters, HR find you. And so, but you have to be specific on what it is that you are looking for and what it is that you want. And here at Levelist, that's what we do. We help you to understand what that career path is that best suited for your abilities and strengths. And then we look at within the career path, what's the profession? What's the profession that you really need to go after in order for you to have that fulfillment and know that you're working in a capacity that you love? It was over 60% of individuals who are working in corporations and they're working in a job or in a particular field that, one, they did not go to school for, and two, they definitely do not like. Over 60%. That's too large. That's just too high. Because although I talk about the sky is not the limit, life is not promised. Tomorrow is not promised. We have a certain amount of days we have here on this earth. So let's live those days. And I always say, live your legacy. Be happy at what you're doing so that others, you can share with others and you can bring them along the way as you're moving, not necessarily moving up, but you're moving forward. And that's what Levelers is here, is success without levels. And we believe in helping you to move forward so that you're in the right career that's best for your abilities and strengths. And you've chosen the profession that you desire and that will help you live the lifestyle that you deserve. So I trust that you've written a lot of this information down. I would love to hear from you. Tell me how it resonated with you. What does reset mean to you? What strategy have you put in place? And if you have not put a strategy in place, remember we have the Reset 2025 that's coming up here. January the 9th, January the 16th, January the 23rd, and January the 30th. So we have different dates and times in which you can select that works for your schedule. But listen, reset for 2025. Don't be stuck. Don't be afraid to get out of that box. Don't let anyone hold you back from becoming who you were created to be and living the lifestyle that you deserve and even being paid the salary that you desire. So all of that is a part of what we do here at Level Less. And again, I talked about young adults, that's high school, and those in college. And then we have the professional adults, and we're talking about those who are out of college, those who are already working, those who are stuck, need to get unstuck, those who are unemployed, those who are underpaid, those who have not been promoted, those who are looking to retire. All of that falls into the professional development side. And that's what we do when we do here at Level Less. So we would love to hear from you. I have truly enjoyed talking to you this evening. Happy New Year. And I trust 2025. And remember, it's going to be good to you because it is the year of reset. So I'm your show host, Maxine Pearl Phillips. I believe in you. I trust you believe in yourself. Meet me back here next week, same time, and bring a friend along with you. Until then, have a great evening.